Why is every company trying to risk it all for a victory that was, in my opinion, a once in a blue moon, a strike, lightning, and caught it in a bottle situation? And why do people keep falling for it? Yeah, Blue Point, the remake and remaster studio, shut down because apparently, they were making a God of War live service game, which I don't even see how that can feasibly possibly work, considering that it's a God of War game. God of War is supposed to be about the story of Kratos and, everybody that surrounds his life. Unless we're just generally just generic Spartans that happen to get some cool ability or power, it's really not going to matter too much, considering that it could take place in any mythology. And the brutality of it all. What do you mean there's a character that's stronger than Kratos walking around and he just happens to never cross paths with them? Shovel Knight exists. Are we all getting destroyed by Shovel Knight? I don't know. I really can't tell you. But that's besides the point. They have all these companies doing all this crazy stuff for what? I don't know. But they all solely believe in the fact that the games that they're trying to produce that are live service will do wonders with the gaming ecosystem, which is crazy because, like we said before, not only did most of those live service successes only happen because companies were willing to try something new, something different, and they happened to find a formula that works for them, but we're not doing any of that at all. Hence why everything's starting to look so unfamiliar and unsafe. And there's two different types of players that notice and don't notice. On one hand, we have the average player that doesn't notice it at all. They just play for the fun, escape, connections with friends and family, and making new friends and stuff like that to goof off. They're emotionally invested, so once something comes out of the game, usually Call of Duty or 2K, they kind of just keep going with whether it is a good game or good product or not. And, forgives flaws in games, even though that all is really debatable. And they're the biggest spenders. I know so many friends that spend so much crazy money on a game and then they never play it again, and it drives me insane. It's like, dude, at least play it a little bit longer. They're like, oh no, I just got bored with it. But I'm like, then why did you spend that money? And the perfect example of the game that I'm referring to is Marvel Rivals. I know so many people that dropped way more money on this game than I did, and where are they right now? Nowhere to be found. They're not even playing the game. And it sucks because I know for a fact that they were having fun with the game. It's just that their attention got dragged elsewhere. And I know that not everybody plays the game as much as I do, but I still don't think that gives way to spend an absurd amount of money and then vanish. Because that's like going somewhere, getting a whole bunch of food and then not eating it. Throwing it away like, I'm not hungry anymore. Instead of saving it for later, you throw it away. But who knows? Maybe that's doing them some good. But then there's also those people that like to buy into new hype games like Resident Evil 9, mainly due to the fact that it's a trusted franchise with mass appeal. And what I mean by that is a lot of people love Resident Evil to bits, to death, always and forever. And it came from those early years, the 1990s of Resident Evil, where everybody was trying it out for the first time and they realized there was something special about it. And they've been singing its high praises for years, and that momentum carried it all the way through. But not just that, of course, it's evolution. That's not the most important part. The key points here are that they want to be supported and feel good, and they like to fund what they love, which is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Do what you need to do to make you happy, make you smile. Now, there's the refined player that protects the goodwill, because though the average player builds it up, they kind of just, forget about it until it's brought up in passing. Like, oh, remember the Infamous series? Oh man, I love Infamous. I played it like one time. Bro, I got the good ending and then I stopped playing it. It's like, yeah, but I still want more. And, we're encouraging the mods, going to the fan art and liking it up, creating memes out of it, and we appreciate the quality of the game. We also like that it respects our time as a player. It doesn't force us to do anything extra or more. And value the craftsmanship of the game. An example of that is Risk of Rain Returns. It knows what it wanted to be, and it came out as is without, trying to be extra in any way, shape, or form. Even Resident Evil falls under the same category of a Goodwill refined gamers game, because the average player is probably only going to play through it once or twice, while the refined gamer is going to go through it multiple times, whether it's for funsies or for achievements. They're going to play the game. That's the difference. And that's fine. Again, there's nothing wrong with playing through the game once. But, I'll always say, hey, make it at least worth your money. And maybe it is. I can't justify that for you. That's something you got to do on your own. Resident Evil bridges them both, though, which is pretty cool, because as a refined gamer, I know Resident Evil 9 is going to be a banger based off of, Resident Evil's track history. But all of y'all that don't know about Resident Evil are probably a little confused, like, what? Resident Evil's probably not that good. He's probably just hyping it up for the sake of hyping it up. And I'm like, no, that's not entirely true. However, though, with everything that comes with these games, right? Like, Resident Evil is fine and dandy and all, but when it comes to DLC, people often expect it to happen after a game launches and releases. And though it's not the most despised thing in the world, it can get old pretty fast. Because imagine buying the most expensive version of a game, expecting to get the fullest experience possible, and then a couple of months later they drop a DLC expanding upon the story and the lore and the characters, and it's a new mode and there's a lot more to do, and it costs an extra couple of bucks. Now, if you are a hardcore gamer or a fine gamer, depending on the DLC, the price, you might just leap right in. But the average gamer will not care. They literally could care less, unless it was that hyped again, but I doubt that DLC is hyped as much as the base game is. They probably moved on to a different game, like Marvel Rivals again. Fear of missing out sucks. Nobody likes fear of missing out. Some people do, because it gives them the sense of like, I was there, which I don't mind, but fear of missing out shouldn't have a price tag on it. I feel like fear of missing out should just be, were you there or not? That's it. If you were there, you didn't miss. You don't need to fear. But if you weren't, then I'm sorry. There's nothing we could do about that. You just weren't there. Play the game. And then storefronts, bruh. Every game that is a live service, even Resident Evil does it. There's an advertisement for another game in it. Resident Evil 2 advertised Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 3 advertises Resident Evil Village or Resistance. I remember that vaguely. And I think it's advertising Resident Evil 9. Resident Evil Village is advertising Resident Evil 9 for sure, and so is Resident Evil 4. I can almost guarantee you that completely. And it's like, guys, I get it. But it's the least egregious of them all. It's just like, yo, another game's coming out. If you like this one a lot, you might want to check this one out. Just saying. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Now, the worst feeling when it comes to these things is like when you're spending an absurd amount of money on the game and it's not feeling like, return on investment. It just feels like you're spending more and more. I understand that stress and frustration. That trust will decline. You guys gotta be careful about how you monetize and work with your players, because they're the most important people in the industry. The average player, of course, is gonna spend, but the refined player is gonna go out of their way to ignore and not be a part of the active community that follows. Usually an active community is full of people that are obscenely passionate about the game. And that's okay, that's good, that's fantastic. Because that means that there's more things to talk about in the game without the devs having to do the extra legwork of being like, oh, did you know that we did this crazy thing in the game? What? And people will be like, okay, so when's the next update? Or game's dead, GG's. All in all, I want you guys to understand, it's not just about making money. It's about standing for something and standing by it. And leaving something that actually matters to the player. Because Marvel Rivals, the goodwill is coming from the fact that they're Marvel characters, not from the fact that it's a 5v5 team tactical hero shooter. It's the fact that it's a Marvel character. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Me love me some Marvel characters. But be careful, because you never know what pitfalls might become of Marvel Rivals, since Overwatch is over here being horrible for like 5+ years in a row. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, they decide to lock in 5 heroes, new maps, new modes, new character adjustments, and stuff like that. Like, that's insane. But it took competition and their goodwill starting to evaporate thanks to Marvel Rivals. But now it's being rebuilt in a way that I didn't think was possible, nor do I think should be possible. But that's just me. I think I'm gonna have to end the video here. I think that I got the point across pretty well. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I think I should upload more videos like this. I think you guys are enjoying them so far pretty well. And yeah, it's been Blaze, fan that flame, burn your dread, and stay hot. Bye-bye.